Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Bonk update today, and let's look at what Bonk is doing. Is Bonk messed up? Is it really time to see at Bonk coming down to nearly 935, or are we going to have a relief to the upside? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Bonk. Now at the moment I do believe that Bonk on the other side does actually suggest that it is flashing massive buying opportunity, to be honest with you, even though it's losing this trend line. Yes, it's losing the trend line, but there are chances based on how much the prices are down that this could actually be a fake out. Who knows, right? By the end of the day, if the market maker decide that they want to drop it all the way down, the charts are going to be meaningless at that time. You're just going to say TA doesn't really work on this one. But the thing is, there are chances where we could actually say that this is going to end up being a very small fake out, because I think it's going to be worse when you come down and lose 1409. Okay, now the thing with Dragonfly Doji, let's talk about the detail of there's a very small detail that goes with a candlestick, and I want to go into that micro details. Let's get deeper into a detail of a candle. So what I want to show you is when a candle gets opened up, what happens to that candle, and after that candle is closed and it's done, how does the next candle coming after behave? All right, these are the two things that I want you to learn about. So number one is going to be a Dragonfly Doji. So let's talk about Dragonfly Doji, because Dragonfly Doji is what Bonk has actually created. So on a nutshell, it looks like a dragonfly. It has this head, it has a very long wick to the downside, and then it looks like a dragonfly, right? That's exactly what you really have right now. I'm just going to open up Bonk on a much more clear pattern. Maybe Maxi is going to do good. All right, so we're going to open up on Maxi, and I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit. So if we go with the Maxi pattern, Maxi kind of shows that we're still good, we're still holding up the support at the moment. But anyways, let's talk about the candle. Enough with the trend line already. If we go with candles, right? If we go with the candles, we clearly have a nice good doji that is a bullish doji, number one. It means reversal to the upside, and as long as you don't really come down and take out 1416, you are good, right? Your stop loss is going to be probably down at that 1416 at the lowest part of the candle itself. If you come down, you take it out, I think crypto is in a very bad condition. It's going to be in a very bad situation. So as long as you don't do that, we're okay. Now, the thing is that, yes, the next candle did not actually push to the upside. And this is what I want to show you. Why didn't the next candle go back to the upside? Why are we still going down if we have this candle? That's the micro detail you have to understand. Maybe these small sideways movement can happen, and then you can actually go back to the upside. So for example, in history, whenever a dragonfly has been printed, now for example, this coin right here, it had the dragonfly doji, but if you notice, there were four different candles that were sideways, still sideways, but it never came below the candle itself. So it is fine to have a dragonfly, and it is fine to have 4 or 5 candles sideways before you don't start to really push back up. That means you have this one candle, that second candle, and then you can have a third candle and a fourth candle like this come down and make people think it's going to go down and actually start to go back up again, right? This is how dragonfly behavior happen post after you make it. There are instances as well where you can just make a dragonfly and then start to go to the upside. Those are the best scenarios, of course. But then again, when you make dragonfly dojis, you can still expect to have a little bit more sideways. Now, for example, this another candle here, you made the dragonfly, you started to move sideways, and then you pushed all the way back to the upside. This is what I've noticed so many times. Even if you look at this one again, you have another dragonfly right here. You had a little bit of sideways movements, and then you started to go back up to the upside. I'm just going to show you more and more examples. Probably this is going to help you big time. This is another one. I think this is the best scenario at the moment if we talk about Bonk, where you just created that dragonfly, and you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, you can actually see Bonk actually making it as low as 1603. You can even come to 1591, and that will still not be an invalidation of the bullish scenario. That's still going to be a part of the game, and then you start to go back up to the upside. So something very similar to what you're looking at right over here. So this was the small detail. You can see how TA really is technical. Honestly, like, technical analysis is really indeed technical. You have to be very, very technical with what comes up next. Now let's get into smaller time frame, and this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I think it's worth it. At the moment the sideways movement is happening. I just want to check maybe 15 minutes and see what are the other clues that we have right now. So ever since you came down, you took out some stop losses, you have some support and resistances. I would even actually go on and say that you do have this little bit of a trend line that I think you will see Bonk coming down to. So you kind of like broke the trend line. All right, let's go back and check this out. It's just a very small pattern on the 15 minutes time frame. You can actually say almost like on a an ascending triangle that happened on that 15 minutes time frame, and then you broke out. You never really back tested it, right? You never really back tested it. So these are small little clues that we have that we can find out for you guys. So what can happen is that now that you're coming down, maybe if you did something where you touched it like this at 1721, you could have actually bounced off and go to the upside. But I think the reason why they're pushing it sideways is to basically drop it a little bit lower and try to catch 1684 and retest this trend line before it actually goes all the way back to the upside, because that is your one resistance that you have. You had another resistance here, and then you broke out of it, and it does look like at some point if you touch it, it's going to act as a huge support, and then you finally start to go back to the upside. Now of course this sideways movement is also to chop off a lot of scalpers, people who are trying to trade in the smaller time frame. For example, if you go on the 5 minutes time frame, you actually did have a nice good scalp back in the days. Look at the 5 minutes time frame. All right, let's go into the micro details for the scalpers as well. So if you look at the 5 minutes, here it is. Okay, you had your again resistance right there, you got resistance rejection, you got resistance rejection. You came up here, people were trying to short a little bit to the downside because it got rejected, thinking it's going to come down, and then they pushed it up to the upside. So that's all for the video on Bonk. I'm going to see you in the next one. Love, peace.